Hey, drunk ass, get your ass out of bed.
Dave, I was hoping you'd be a little more subtle with our listeners.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It's time for your morning hangover cure.
Your Saturday morning hangover cure is Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition, with your Uncle Dave.
And your Uncle
The
Kev.
conquistador Dave Height, and I am the maestro Kevin Crane.
That being said, get your ass up. You know what time it is.
Get the eggs going, get the bacon going, pound some aspirin,
Get the
pound some
coffee brewing.
It is time for us to plan out the rest of your weekend because obviously you had a shit show last night. So we need to fix things and get you some great stories, some great music, movies, TV, all of it.
Have a laugh or two along the way.
Yep. Stay out of the bar fights. Do not go down that road with that 350-pound woman. Don't do it. There's not enough flour in the world, kids.
Oh, damn.
Now, that being said, as we start off the weekend edition, Uncle Dave, what do we always start off with?
We start off with music because we are about the rock.
Yes, great news today, by the way. Personal aside for us.
We have a phenomenal concert we just got tickets for in August.
Yep, up here in the northern Indiana regions. Plymouth Motor Speedway is going to host not only the great, the glorious, the mighty Night Ranger, but the debauched awesomeness of Jackal, along with Firehouse and Enough Enough.
So much
We
fun.
are already in like Flint for that one, kids. Already got the tickets. So we are good to go for that. Had to pass up on the same night in Fort Wayne.
Yes, seeing Great White,
Vixen and Slaughter. Yep. Sometimes hard decisions have to be made.
Yep. Of that trio, Vixen is the only one I have not seen.
No, I never got to see Slaughter. Never got to see Slaughter.
Yeah, I've got to see Slaughter.
But considering the fact that tickets for that show would have been almost twice as much
as what we're getting
with much better bands.
Yes.
Sorry, much better bands.
Much better.
You don't mess with Jackal and Night Ranger. You don't, in my book.
No, and I'm looking forward to the underrated Enough's Enough.
Yep. But we digress.
Because we have our signature album review.
Yep, we got one album review, one song review this week. And this album has been long awaited. Is it the final album from the metal gods, Judas Priest? They said they were going to end things after the last album, Firepower.
But no.
They said they still had something left. Rob Halford and the boys said, no, we've got more. So we will give you Invincible Shield. And of course, mid-May, we will have a review
of them in concert.
So we are looking forward to that. But we are reviewing the deluxe edition of Invincible Shield. Standard edition, 11 songs. Deluxe edition, 14 songs.
This is
not a cheap one either.
No.
3 new songs on top of the original 11. So this is not like remixes or covers.
No. It's boom, boom, boom. I was impressed with this one.
I was ridiculously impressed with this album.
There was not one that I hated on this album.
Absolutely, 110%
this from
agree.
Start to finish.
Even the 3 bonus tracks.
Oh, the last song on the album is one of my favorites.
Well, pick. Is it the last of the deluxe or the last of the standard?
The last of the deluxe.
I'll take both. I'll take Giants in the Sky or The Lodger.
I fucking loved The Lodger.
I knew. Well, I saw that song title. I'm like, that can't be a bad song. Dude, that just can't be a bad song.
It sounded like it could be a Bond theme song. It just had that feel to it.
Yep.
Lyrically, the story behind it was fan-freaking-tastic.
Yep. I agree completely. Not a bad song on the album. 14
No.
songs on the deluxe edition.
Start to finish. We have not had this in how
I know.
long?
I think that's why we're both geeked about this. Is that it's just and Rob Halford's voice
Sounds
is still
so
unbelievably ridiculous.
Still strong.
Yep. But yeah, some now I'll let's just compare and contrast. We won't go through every song.
Now, some are not as high as others,
Well,
but
I've already
still.
made my bones about Crown of Horns. I still think that's a little too poppy, but it's
It
not
is
a
a bit.
bad song. It's
No,
not a
it's
bad
not.
song. But I'll tell you what, the album peaks for me with songs 4 and 5. Devil in Disguise and Gates of Hell.
Those are great.
Those sound like early 80s era Judas Priest.
They do. Oh my god.
Yeah, those two songs to me are just unbelievably phenomenal.
Yeah.
Of course, we've already talked about Panic Attack. Now, we didn't talk about the Serpent and the King.
No.
That was one that we held off on because it was getting too close
right.
to the album release.
But still, it's solid.
Oh, it's great.
So good. Yep. Oh, God.
I've already said how much I love Trial by Fire.
Yep. Escape from Reality was probably the weakest of them that I thought, other than, Crown of Horns. But those two, they're still good.
Yeah, that's, again, we are not
better than a lot of what we've had from anybody else.
We are not disparaging any of these songs. They are all worthy. If I had to pick ones that were weaker than others, I would go with, of course, Crown of Horns, Sons of Thunder, and Vicious Circle would probably be the ones. But again, they're not bad songs.
No, they're not.
They're not bad songs at all.
One, Fight of Your Life, I enjoyed. And to me, I could almost hear Sebastian Bach singing that with Skid Row backing him on it.
Well, the thing I love about Fight of Your Life, on top of the fact that it's a good song, very good song, is that I was worried once we get through the regular standard edition, the 11 songs, and Giants in the Sky closes out magnificently.
Beautifully done.
That standard edition. Then we've got the next 3, and you're like, are they going to be throwaways? Are they just going to be, stuff
add-ons
that, wasn't even close to the level of the other 11?
No,
and then I hear Fight of Your Life, and I'm like, oh, this is good. This is really good.
And closing with The Lodger, come on.
Yeah.
How is that not on the standard edition?
Because now, let's be cynical here, because we like to be cynical here on Sports Frenzy. They're trying to make money. And the sad thing is, this Invincible Shield overall, whether you buy the standard or whether you buy the deluxe, it's overpriced.
It is overpriced.
They're asking $14 for the standard on CD, $20 for the deluxe.
No.
You buy it on digital like I did, I got 14 for $12. So I saved money, and I just burned myself a copy.
And there you go.
Yes, but The Lodger is so good.
I love The Lodger.
Yes, absolutely fantastic song. Again, this Dave said this. We're almost speechless. Dave said this perfectly. It has been a long, long, long time coming since we have had an album 14 songs deep. That's so good. That is so solid. That is so good. And yes, we are Judas Priest fans. But we're usually
everybody. We're fans of everybody we review.
Right.
And we've been so disappointed over the last year plus with most of what we've gotten.
Yes.
And to have 14 solid songs that do not disappoint.
Right. Yep. This has got to be the best Judas Priest album I have heard since Angel of Retribution. I mean, and that goes back to the debacle where Sony was trying to push this dual disc technology on you, where you couldn't, where it was one side was the album, the other side was a DVD.
Yeah.
And you couldn't play it. You couldn't play it because the disc was too heavy.
Yeah. It wouldn't spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that album, I had to coax my burner into ripping it and then burning a copy on a regular CD so I could actually listen to it without it having all the issues and the problems. But Angel of Retribution is the last Judas Priest album I can think of that was this good. Firepower was fine, but this
start to finish.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Yep. Cannot argue with you on that. 3 months in, not even 3 months in, easily
album
a contender for album of the year. 3.5. 3.5.
Solid
Frenzies.
3.5.
Yes. And again, you can say, "Oh, you guys just like Judas Priest, you metalheads."
We liked everything that we review.
We don't review something. We're not going to review a rap album. We're not reviewing country music. We're not reviewing.
We review what we like.
Yes.
And if it's crap, we call it crap.
We expect.
We expect excellence. Yes. We expect this type of album, start to finish, from everybody.
We go into each and every week our album review, our featured album review, being 4 stars, 4 frenzies. We want it to be the best. It should be the best. And like Dave said, unfortunately, for the most part, the last year and a half, we have not gotten that.
Subpar recordings.
This, again, is what we expect.
Yeah. Yes.
Once again, 3.5 frenzies for the deluxe edition of Invincible Shield. Be 3.5 for the regular, too.
Yep. Oh, yeah. There's no issues at all with this one.
Nope. All right, we have one song to review this week. Of course, Billy Idol is putting out the 40th anniversary edition of Rebel Yell. So there is a new song on there, but he has decided to release a cover version as the first single. And that is a remake of Rose Royce, Love Don't Live Here Anymore. This, to me, is a tale of 2 songs. Now, this is long. This is over 5.5 minutes long.
It's a long, drawn out.
And, of course, back in the Rebel Yell days, Billy was tended to be a little melodramatic sometimes with his vocals.
No, you don't say.
So the first half of this is Billy trying to be as faithful as he can to the original song. Again, with his typical flair and nuances and the snarls and the...
I was going to say...
I'm not here anymore! But...
he idolizes it.
But once you get to Steve Stevens' guitar in the second half...
it starts to come alive.
They make it their own. They make this cover song their own. I'm assuming it's Steve Stevens on guitar back then. It's got to be.
I would think it would be.
And it's phenomenal. The second half of the song dominated by the guitar solo. And it's just fantastic. So I, of course, love my old disco R&B stuff from the 70s and early 80s. Again, back then, I think you feel the same way as I do. Back then, we didn't care who sang it.
No, if it was good, it was good. If it was crap, it was crap.
Right. We didn't care. Black, white, we didn't care.
It still doesn't matter. If a song's good, I don't care who's singing it.
Yeah, but
I'll listen to the hell out of it.
The music business now has become fractured.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do want to bring this up. Thank you for another great segue. I have meant to bring this up for the last couple weeks, and normally we have said we don't do this, but I will do this because basically I'm tired of her ugly ass husband bitching and pissing and moaning and crying. We don't give her enough respect. All right, so I will give for my Clint Eastwood Weekend Edition Badass of the Week It's a couple weeks late. I'll admit it. Beyonce. First black woman ever to have a #1 song on the country charts.
Good for her.
So, again, I don't like doing things like this, but again, Jay-Z bitches and pisses and moans, oh, I don't understand why Taylor Swift wins all the awards and my wife doesn't win any, which is bullshit because, of course,
Because she wins enough.
Yes.
So stop the overhype, self-promotion crap.
Yes, but congrats to Beyonce. Another barrier broken, so another thing we should never have to point out ever fucking again. Right?
Exactly.
Now we're done. Now we're done. This one's over. Checkbox. We're done.
Boom.
Now, in terms of the Billy Idol song, again, sorry, a little bit of a tangent there, but I will give this, I know, I will give it a solid 3 frenzies.
It is a solid 3.
I think it's a very good cover song with the guitar work in the second half, stellar as it is.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
It's solid.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. Now I would like to hear this other song, the original song on this 40th anniversary Rebel Yell reissue that we've not heard before. So
that's what we're waiting for.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
Now, of course, we're doing our nonstop format, so we will segue right in to movies in just a second. One final rock and roll note, though, just broke today. Again, take it with a grain of salt. When a rock and roll artist, a classic rock and roller, says they're retiring, maybe not.
Really?
Yeah. How many times have we been burned by The Who and Leonard Skinner?
Kiss.
Yep. So Lou Gramm of Foreigner. Now we're lucky enough, we've got tickets to see him.
With Party Gras.
Yep, Party Gras 2.0 with Bret Michaels and Dee Snider and Don Felder. But he says after that, maybe has a couple other shows later on in the year. He says 2024, he is done with live shows.
Wrap it. Put a stamp on it.
Outside of
potentially if Foreigner is elected into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, he said that's already set up. If it happens, he will be singing songs, the 2 songs they get.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if they get elected in, I expect, maybe I'm overestimating the idiots in the rock and roll community. Not fans, not us.
Fans, those who actually run the stupid ass Hall of Fame.
Right. And the people that they invite to the ceremony.
The super pretentious morons who think they know music and actually don't.
I would expect a standing ovation beyond all belief for Foreigner when they get in. Because people don't seem to understand the influence that band had throughout the 70s into the 80s and how it influenced a lot of bands going forward. I think a lot of people in the rock and roll community will finally say, oh great, we got rid of the dickhead Jan Wenner and his vendetta against Mick Jones. Now Foreigner gets in as they rightfully should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And hopefully that opens the floodgates for some of these other bands.
Everybody else who should be in there.
Boston, REO Speedwagon. Get some of them in as well.
Come on.
All right, let's move on to movies. Now, of course, you know, your Uncle Dave and I have been...
We've been playing the Oscars game.
Yep. Last couple of weeks, we look back at all of the Best Picture winners. And, of course, I have been guilted into watching the ones that I didn't see, the good ones, the big ones. So over the next few weeks, I'm giving you fair warning right now. I will have reviews of The Sting. I will have a review of In the Heat of the Night and Ben-Hur, all 3 of those in the coming weeks. I will take care of those and knock those off my guilt list thanks to your Uncle Dave. Okay?
You're welcome.
Now, you are expected to watch Birdman and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay, let me write those down.
You told me last week you were going to watch
They're on,
those.
but I didn't know I was under a time limit here.
Well,
now.
you're not under a time limit. You don't have to watch them in a week. Just get them knocked out in the next month or two. I don't even know where you can watch Birdman.
I don't
honestly
either.
don't know.
I'll find it somewhere.
So that being said, a movie from 9 years ago.
How has it been that long?
That neither one of us ever finished. You started it.
I started it a week ago.
Right. I bought a copy of it on Black Friday years ago. Never watched the Blu-ray. The Revenant, which won for Best Director, which won for Best Actor,
For
but
Leonardo.
was shut out of Best Picture because of Spotlight. Yeah, just what we need. Another movie where the media pats itself on the back for being so awesome and great.
Which they are not. And
No.
haven't been for what, about the last 40 years?
Yeah, we should set up a separate Plane of Doom just for the idiot members of the media who think they're all that in a bag of chips. Rachel Maddow, Jon Stewart, Bill Maher. Just throw them all on a plane and right in the middle of the Pacific. And if you survive, good for you. Then we'll put you right back on the next. We'll put you right back on the next plane.
We'll do it again and again.
Yep. So The Revenant is one of our featured reviews this week. And I'll tell you something. Number one, this is a Western.
Yes.
This is a Western. Even though it happens in the cold, we know it's somewhere out there around Yellowstone.
Yeah. It's up in the Dakotas, Montana area. Classic revenge flick.
Survival and revenge.
Yes.
Yep.
Very good. However, it runs a little long.
I didn't have a problem with...
There are parts where it just bogged down to me and got a little slow and drawn out in some aspects.
I didn't have as much of a problem with that.
So having read the book, which had a great freaking pace to it.
Okay.
The book moved along and just boom, 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 boom. The movie was kind of painfully slow in a few places.
Now, see, maybe it's
they
because...
took the cinematic, artistic...
Okay, then you and I are going to have issues with this. You and I are going to have issues with this because... Now, number one, part of the reason why I didn't have a problem with the pacing, it's 2.5 hours long. Considering I have watched Oppenheimer recently, which was 3 hours, and Killers of the Flower Moon, which was 3.5 hours, I didn't have a problem with 2.5 hours.
There were a few points where they could have sped things up a little bit.
Well, now the other problem I'm going to have, where you and I are probably going to dispute, is that I thought it was a freaking gorgeously shot movie.
Oh, it was.
It was one of the most visual. So I didn't have a problem with the lingering shots
stunning.
of the mountains and the water.
No, that was great. And when DiCaprio's character Glass is going through his stuff and envisioning his family,
right?
That was beautifully done. That was perfect. That was what was needed. That was what kept his character going through the book as well.
Okay. Well, again, you read the book, so you've got a different perspective from me because you've read the book. But I'm just taking it purely from the cinematic aspect of it. It is one of the most beautiful movies visually I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous with the river, the
this
rapids,
was a movie
the
that
vistas
had to be done
of
in
the
high
mountains,
def. Yes.
The snowfall, the snow melt.
Yep. But even the pivotal early on, the pivotal bear attack.
That bear attack was perfectly done.
My God, it is intense.
That was the most realistic thing you could have hoped for.
Yes. It is the centerpiece of the movie. And there are plenty of other fantastic scenes later on I do not want to spoil. Now, the bear scene is pivotal. It's early on.
That
Sorry.
sets the whole thing in
And
motion.
again, it's been out for 9 years, people. So, but I really like this movie a lot. I really liked it a lot.
Even though I thought some of it was slow, it was fantastic.
And
I did love it
Yes.
overall.
I'm going to give it 3.5 frenzies.
3.5 is what it deserves. It should have been Best Picture that year.
Yes. Yes. And I guarantee, maybe there was another picture that year that was as good or better. I guarantee sure as hell wasn't Spotlight.
No, I've seen the previews for Spotlight, and I had never had any desire to want to see it at all.
No. And we talked about that doing our rundown last week.
Yeah.
Neither one of us has seen it. Neither one of us want to see Spotlight.
Revenant, brilliant.
Yes. And again, kudos to everybody. Director, Inaruta, I think, was the director. And then DiCaprio, well-deserved Best Actor. Well-deserved. Yeah. With all his character
everything
has to go
he had to do.
Yep.
The physical stuff that he did, and it was not your stuntmen doing a lot of the stuff. There are things where, yeah, it was, but there are things he was having to do and endure.
Yep, and even though
it went above and
even
beyond.
though it is a basic, in the end, it's a basic Western survival revenge flick. There are plot lines that crisscross, come back and forth.
Yep.
You sit there and you wait. So that's got to come into play later, and sure enough, it does.
Yeah, the overarching the story arc is
but it's not overly complex. That's another thing that's good about it. It's good enough. It's like an old Clint Eastwood Western. The plot is good enough without being, ridiculously complex, but it's not stupid and simple either.
Right. It's got that perfect mix.
Yeah, but then of course we haven't even mentioned Tom Hardy as the adversary.
As Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Hardy should have gotten supporting actor for that one.
Hardy is vastly underrated as an actor. Vastly underrated.
Yeah, no, Tom Hardy as Fitzgerald, one of the best villains you love to hate.
Yep. So, again, we're going to be doing this for a little while here, kids, traveling back through history with the Oscars.
So deal with it.
Yep. But of course, we'll watch the new stuff too. We're not saying we're going to forsake the new stuff. And of course, that leads us into a new movie on Amazon Prime. So we go from the prestigious, the intense, the heavy, important discussions of life and survival and revenge to
lowbrow comedy.
Yes, we go to Ricky Stanicky.
Ricky Barbara Stanicky.
Of course, on Amazon Prime. One of the Farrelly brothers. Of course, this is supposed to be their return to the glorious R-rated raunchy comedies that the Farrelly brothers were known for.
Yep. Zac Efron, John Cena,
William H. Macy.
He's air dicking.
One of the two very, very funny moments in the movie. Yeah, the whole air dicking thing is just you're doing a double air dick there.
This was an enjoyable comedy. It had its moments. There were some really, why are we doing this moments? But overall, it's worth watching.
See, I'm going to say no. I give it a borderline thumbs down, 2 frenzies.
I was going to
because
go week 2.5.
my problem now, there are the two funny moments. Laugh out loud funny are the air dicking, and then of course when we're introduced to John Cena's his character's
When he's doing
Atlantic
his
City
performance.
show. Yes. Now, I happen to dive into the reviews online, and most people agree that this movie is made by John Cena. John Cena's phenomenal in this movie.
He carries this movie.
And you want to give him a hard time for being a wrestler.
The dude is a great actor.
You got to keep in mind something. You got to keep in mind something. You look at him, you look at Dwayne Johnson, you're arguably looking at two of the biggest stars in Hollywood right now, let alone what they're doing in the wrestling ring.
Yeah.
There's something with wrestling where you have to act. You have to learn how to do a promo. You have to learn how to talk.
Wrestling is acting.
Yes.
Come on.
But there's the physical stuff as well.
There is, but the personas you have to get people to buy in.
And between Peacemaker and now this, I think John Cena and his wonderful performance at the Oscars with the envelope. We'll get to that in a few minutes. He is a scene stealer. He is a showstopper. He is very talented. And he gives...
His timing is great. His inflections.
He gives Ricky Stanicky a heart.
He brings life.
Yes.
So, dare we discuss his lounge act?
Let's just say it involves a lot of masturbation.
To popular songs. There was one that he missed. Now, I will give the refrain as he would do it. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire if you use the lube. This hand's for hire, even if we're just jerking in the dark.
Look at you with the Bruce Springsteen. So now Dave has basically given you the idea of what
the lounge act is about.
This is early on in the movie. Very early on in the movie.
But you have to see it with everything that he takes on. Yeah, the costumes.
Yes, the costumes make it.
Oh my God.
And when he's dressed like Britney Spears. When he finally takes the phone call from Zac Efron that sets everything in motion. But seeing John Cena dressed as Britney Spears.
With the pigtails.
Yeah. See, now, that's the stuff that I wanted more of.
Yeah, we needed more of that. There was too much serious stuff in there.
And plus, again, this is the
political correct
checkbox movie. It tries too hard to cover all the bases that it needs to,
and it didn't have to go there.
No, because the two that really made me just laugh out loud because it was so pathetic was number one. Okay, the premise of the movie is Zac Efron and his two friends, three guys growing up together, create this imaginary friend, Ricky Stanicky, who starts to take all the blame and gives them excuses.
Everything they've ever done. A reason to skip out on stuff. Yep. To keep them out of trouble for pranks or whatever they do when they get caught doing something.
Yep, and it carries on into adulthood so they can get out of stuff and like baby showers that they don't want to go to.
They have a Bible where they write down what they've blamed Stanicky for.
Yeah, what the excuse was. So, and of course, this is eventually what they give to John Cena. So
it's a whole persona of everything, where he's been, excuses for them to be at this place, that place.
But now, of course, one of the three friends, of course, has got to be gay. Okay.
Of course.
Fine. But then, number one, I laugh my ass off. It's so pathetic that his boyfriend has got to also be disabled.
Yeah.
Come on. Come the fuck on. Do we really have to go this far down the PC road? And then at the end, this is not a spoiler of anything.
the little person?
Yeah. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, one of the executives of a company, happens to be a midget. What, Peter Dinklage wasn't available? Sorry, that stuff, I
was a
downgrade
Peter
the movie
Dinklage wannabe, if you noticed.
that stuff. I downgrade a movie for that stuff. I can't give a movie high grades when it's that blatantly pathetic.
This is what we're going to get from here on out.
I don't have to put up with it. I don't have to like a movie when it does this kind of garbage. Because, again, you cannot tell a creative person. You cannot tell a creative person
what they have to input.
Right. They give you a story and you go, that's fine, except make this person gay and disabled, make this person a midget. Oh, I'm sorry, height challenge person. Come on! Somebody create something, you let them either you take it or you don't.
This is what it is. Deal with it and move on.
And I know throughout the years, throughout the decades, producers have told people, said, nah, we need to tweak this a little bit. Not like this, though. No. This is so blatantly pathetic in terms of checking boxes. It's awful, 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 awful. And then I'm sitting there, I got to look at Zac Efron and his blue eyes that are like unnaturally, weirdly blue, and he's already had plastic surgery, you can tell.
Oh, yeah, he did not look like himself in this.
He barely looked like he could move his upper lip.
Yeah, it was...
The collagen injections were kicking in throughout all the shoots.
The Botox and his eyebrows were... It did not look like Zac Efron.
No. Now, that being said, I still want to watch the Iron Claw when that comes out. Cannot wait for the Iron Claw. But this is not up to the level of what I was hoping it would be.
It's not typical of what you would expect from them. It had its moments.
Yeah, outside the two funny moments.
The Bones was there.
Right.
But it fell. I hated their redheaded buddy.
Yeah, he wasn't the best.
He was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I again, somebody made a good point online saying, it seems like they shelled out all the money for Farrelly, for Cena, and for Efron, and then they had nothing left for the rest of the cast. Yeah. Barely could get Macy in, and then it was like C-level actors for everything else.
Yeah. No, Macy was good, though.
So again, I didn't hate it. But I can't give it more than 2 frenzies. I just can't.
There you go. I'll give it a very weak 2.5 because I could get by some of the stuff that you couldn't.
All right. So, movie news. Other movie tidbits. Let's talk superhero movies. As we hope
we?
Well, let's hope and pray that we're going to finally start to get some better ones. Venom 3 has an official name. And it's been bumped up a couple weeks. Shocking.
What? Bumped up?
Yes.
Not back?
Yeah.
Not back a year?
We'll get to that in a minute. Venom, The Last Dance.
So they're ending that already?
Usually trilogies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually shut it down after 3. Venom, The Last Dance will be out now October the 25th.
With the great Tom Hardy.
Yep. Although I still wish it'd be Mad Max.
He needs to do another.
But it takes George Miller way too long to put these movies together now with Furiosa, which looks phenomenal.
It does. Which the boys do want us to take them to,
Sports
by the way.
Frenzy movie night out, baby.
Yep.
Furiosa and the Fall Guy.
Yes.
But as we get a couple weeks of a bump up for Venom 3, the second Batman movie with Robert Pattinson has been pushed back a year.
Oh, come on.
Batman 2 will not be out until October the 2nd, 2026.
There is no reason for this shit.
Oh, they're blaming the strike still.
Oh, bullshit. They had everything already done. Hollywood
the
is
strike messed it all
bullshit.
up.
No, it did not. They're just douchebags.
Well, I agree with you on that, of course. Then, of course, we have the Oscars. We talked about John Cena and his big envelope. Of course, Oppenheimer did win as we predicted it would. Cillian Murphy wins for Best Actor. Robert Downey Jr. wins for Best Supporting Actor. Little bit of a shocker with Best Actress, Emma Stone for Poor Things. And then, of course, my girl in my movie, Divine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers, won Best Supporting Actress. Now, of course, many would say the highlight of the night. We don't watch the Oscars, kids. We're done with it. We're not going to kowtow, to the kiss-ass festival that is the Oscars.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time watching the drivel.
But by all accounts, outside of John Cena and his envelope, the highlight was the great Ryan Gosling singing his song from Barbie, joined on stage by Slash and Wolfgang Van Halen.
Yep.
Then, of course, we have to discuss the opposite. The Razzies.
The Razzies. Of course we do.
I'm infuriated. I am disgusted. How dare you? How dare Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey win worst movie? Come on. I can't wait for the sequel coming out soon.
I know.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was a bad movie, but
it was so bad you have to watch it.
Yes. It's one of those so bad it was good type of movies. And then, of course, Megan Fox somehow won for Worst Actress and Worst Supporting Actress. But she's pretty.
Too much Botox.
And I think Sylvester Stallone got another Razzie, so he'll have to put that one on the mantle with all his others.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Expendables 4 did not do well.
No, it did not, and rightly so.
I still think I liked it more than you.
There were just too much that... I had issues.
All right, so no books this week, you said, right?
No.
No books, but I have book news.
Deep.
Couple of things. Now, again, you read 47 books usually a week. I'm assuming you read Brad Thor's books?
I have not.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I have found an author you do not read?
I have not gotten to him yet.
Well, you better think about doing it because, of course, we were talking at our Sports Frenzy meeting the other night about how you've been watching Tracker.
Yep.
Based on the book series.
It's a generic TV show.
Well, Sony Television, because between Reacher and Tracker now we're starting to see these book series. Maybe they're going to be starting pulling in more of them because they're starting to make money. Maybe we'll see Alex Delaware at some point. But Brad Thor's continuing character, Scott Harbath, is now in line to be the next big TV series. Sony TV is fast-tracking development.
Well, now I'm going to have to start that one too. So much for wanting to get through Gray Man before starting another one.
Yeah, but I haven't heard anything about any continuation of Gray Man right now.
Yeah, but there's still enough books there to...
Yeah. And then finally, one of the few Hollywood memoirs that I might be interested in reading. And there aren't many.
Al Pacino?
Yes.
Sonny
Boy. Al Pacino's Sonny Boy. His memoir will be out October the 8th. I could see that being interesting. One of the greatest actors of all time.
That could be intriguing.
Hooah! Hooah! Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in! And of course, we're not even talking about Heat. One of the greatest
Or
movies of all time.
Scarface. Say hello to my little friend.
All right. Moving on to TV and streaming. Dave and I are kind of off sequence, I think, on some of this stuff, so you'll have to bear with us. I know for a fact he is into The Gentleman on a deep dive right now.
Yes, I am 4 episodes into The Gentleman.
Of course, that's on Netflix, not the movie. And by the way, I apologize. I was going to loan you The Gentleman.
You don't have it?
Digital only.
Ah, well,
I bought it
go.
on digital. I don't have the DVD or Blu-ray for
That's
you. I'm
all right.
sorry.
I'm enjoying the series.
Yes. Very, very good.
Brilliantly
Theo
done.
James taking over the lead. Whereas in the movie, it was Matthew McConaughey. I'm going to tell you something. I'm 2 in. I've watched 2. So I'm not tremendously far behind.
Okay, so you know Mr. Johnston with a T.
Yeah.
What he's into.
Yes.
Which is hysterical because Giancarlo Esposito's character from Breaking Bad was in that business as well. When they revealed that, Nick and I had to pause it because we were laughing so hard.
Yep. Theo James. Bear with me here. Especially when I got into the second episode. Theo James, I'm telling you, could play James Bond.
Absolutely.
I think he has got the right demeanor to be a younger James Bond.
Yeah, because he's just Mr. Cool, composed,
yep,
suave, funny.
Yep.
He's got it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dry sense of humor.
Yep.
Yep. Now he, of course, was in season 2 of the White Lotus, which of course my daughter dragged me into watching.
Sucked you into.
Yep. But so far, very impressed.
No, I am loving The Gentleman. And it just keeps rolling right along. Wait for 3.
Yep. So a week or 2 from now, we'll probably end up giving you our full review of season 1 of The Gentleman. Resident Alien, I did not watch the last one, but you started in on it finally.
I'm 2 in.
Yep.
And you were right. It is back to more of its focus on the alien.
And the humor.
Yes. And Tudyk is brilliant once again, getting back to what it started out being.
Yep. So, again, eventually we'll get aligned on that and we'll catch up and we'll... Now, I hope they're not going to split season 3 like they did
better not.
Season 2. That was just ridiculous.
That was stupid.
Stretching out season 2 so far.
Stop doing this crap. There's no need for it.
Just once you commit to it, give us the whole season.
Run it through.
Now, I will say this, going back to The Gentleman for a second. I almost don't like it when they drop the full season all at once like that with The Gentleman. I almost want them to be to restrain me.
To rein you in.
I don't want to have that pull to, there's another episode. Gotta watch another episode. Just give me one a week. Just give me one a week. I want to go back to the old school days. I just want my one a week.
See, now to get caught up with Ricky Stanicky and with the Revenant kind of ticked Nick off that we couldn't watch more of The Gentleman. I'm like, we'll be fine. It's okay.
Because he's not used, like when we were growing up, it was one episode a week.
Yeah, and now he'll just blow through stuff as he can.
Tell him to go back and finish reading the Spencer books.
There you go. Now, the one show we are a simpatico on.
Nope. Not yet.
You have not watched last week's?
Nope. I didn't finish it.
Of Tokyo Vice?
Nope. Got halfway through.
Dude, you're killing me here.
Yeah, I know.
You're killing me.
No, I'm halfway through episode 6. Halfway through it. I was ahead of you for a while there. At the beginning, kind of, maybe. I'll catch up. It's not going to be that. I'll be ready
Next
next
week.
week with episode 7.
Yeah.
But again, you people need to go out and watch Tokyo Vice. It's phenomenal. And I still haven't been able to watch The Tourist yet. I got to start watching season 2 of The Tourist on Netflix. So we got all that going on.
Too much to watch.
And that's on top of all the movies and the Oscar crap. Catching up on all these.
Trying to read.
Listen to music. For the love of God. Oh, by the way, next week, of course, when it comes to music, featured album review will be the new Black Crowes album, Happiness Bastards. Another one we've been looking forward to for quite a while.
Yes, we have.
One song. I've only got one song. Now, we're still waiting on Collective Soul. Mother's Love did not come out yet. I'm still thinking it's going to hit soon. That is supposed to be the first single from the upcoming double album. Slash is putting out a blues covers album called Orgy of the Damned. I think you're going to like this one. I know we don't normally like to do cover songs. I get it. We just did Billy Idol, though. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
It was pretty good.
You're going to like this one. Song is cover of the old school blues song Killing Floor.
Ooh.
With, on vocals, Brian Johnson of AC/DC.
Nice.
And Steven Tyler on harmonica.
Really?
Yep. So.
Very cool.
There you go. Album and song again.
See,
for
now
you
you
next
said
week.
Slash, and I automatically went to
Miles Kennedy
and the Conspirators.
Nope, he does not appear on the album.
Wow.
Yeah, not at all. He's got a lot of guest stars appearing on the album, of course. We've talked a lot about these guitarists, McMars, Ace Frehley, and whether they take on vocals, whether they have somebody else do it. So Slash has got all these guest vocalists on this album.
Very interesting.
Yep. All right. So a little bit of TV and streaming news, and then we move on to, of course, Moments of Silence and the pivot. The inevitable pivot.
The inevitable pivot.
All right. Now, did you ever end up watching Outer Range on Amazon Prime?
No, I have not yet.
You better catch up on that now.
Season 2 coming?
Season 2 is out May the 16th
All
on
right.
Amazon Prime. Of course, the weird, bizarre Western starring Josh Brolin. Now, I am not sure whether this is movie news or TV and streaming news because it could go either way.
That's what she said.
Dave, you read my notebook. You read my diary. Could be on Amazon Prime in the future. Could go to the theaters. You know, they're kind of... Amazon and MGM are kind of going either or right now, depending on quality of the material.
What they think they can get away with.
So we need another action-packed Christmas movie.
We've had
Silent Night, which I have not seen yet.
Yeah, that's... And Violent Night.
Right. So let's add in the upcoming movie, The Man with the Bag.
Oh, Lord. Really?
The Man with the Bag will star Arnold Schwarzenegger as Santa Claus.
All right, I'm in.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
Who plays his elf?
Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Santa Claus. This is supposedly the premise.
Danny DeVito is Papa Elf?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they were on the Oscars now. Yeah. I heard the other night, too. Can we stop with the twin stuff? It wasn't that good of a movie. Really.
It really wasn't.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger is supposedly going to be playing Santa Claus. His magical sack of toys is stolen.
Oh, no.
And he has to recruit a master thief to help him retrieve the bag. The master thief, played by one Alan Rickson, otherwise known as Reacher.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
do
God.
believe they are going to have a couple elves helping them out. It's in some capacity.
Oh my God.
So that sounds like it could be
That
fun.
could be very entertaining.
Yep. Won't you be my neighbor? And then finally, bad news for Stephen King. I think he's getting kind of pissed off with some of this stuff, because this movie has been sitting on the shelf for years and years. Salem's Lot, the latest version, has been supposedly tabbed to be in theaters for quite a while. Well, of course, Max says, nope, we're going to put it on streaming. No theatrical release whatsoever. They do not have a specific date yet, but Salem's Lot will now officially debut at some point only on Max here in 2024.
Ouch.
Yep.
Ouch.
So again, Stephen King probably not happy about that whole deal. But we move on, and it's time to discuss moments of silence in the world of pop culture, entertainment, and for the most part this week, music. All right, moments of silence here on the weekend edition. Old school. Let's go old school first. Those people even older than Dave and I. Our parents. Let's put it that way. But again, our parents would talk about these particular singers. This one that passed away with his partner, Steve Lawrence.
Yep. Steve and Edie.
Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. Of course, Edie Gourmet passed away many years ago. But Steve and Edie were a fixture, along with Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin.
That whole run, Robert Goulet.
Vegas, yeah, Goulet, Engelbert Humperdinck. All the Vegas rats. Not necessarily the Rat Pack, but
everybody who did the residencies.
Yep. So thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of Steve Lawrence.
Eric Carmen.
Yeah, that's a big one. And
big one.
Nobody realizes actually how many hits he had. Not only as a solo artist, but with the Raspberries.
Yeah. He was more than just Hungry Eyes from Dirty Dancing.
Yep. Of course, had a little bit of a career renaissance towards the end with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Go All the Way by the Raspberries was featured on one of the soundtracks for the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then, of course, the cheesy power ballad, All by Myself, Don't Wanna Be... Oh, my God.
Come on, just...
Puke-inducing. But still, made him a ton of money. Big hit. But yeah, Eric Carmen was a pretty significant figure in the world of music.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. One of the underrated.
Yep.
Singers.
Underappreciated, underrated. Yep. Now, I don't know if you're going to remember this one, Dave, but I do remember they had one hit called, I believe it was Ship of Fools. Might be wrong on that. It was a top 10 hit. World Party. You remember World Party?
Oh, World Party, yes.
Also played in the Waterboys, which was a band that was very critically acclaimed. Never really made a huge commercial impact. But Carl Wallinger was in both World Party. He was the leader of World Party and was in the Waterboys. And he has passed away. Now, I've got one in the world of movies that is going to... It's one of those obscure ones, but still a very significant moment in movie history. Michael Culver passed away. Michael Culver played Captain Nida in the first, what I still consider to be the first Star Wars movie. Now episode 4, of course, A New Hope. He was the officer who had to tell Darth Vader, we did not catch the Millennium Falcon.
And got strangled for
yes.
his...
Yep. So again, very important moment in movie history.
Yep.
Little tiny part of movie history, but very significant for one Michael Culver. So, of course, you know what that means. Now that we're done with moments of silence,
It's time to pivot and play America's favorite game show, Red Foreman's Dumbass or Not.
Of course, an offshoot of our long-standing Sports Frenzy tradition, the Red Foreman Dumbasses of the Week. 4 contestants here in pop culture. We'll start off with one that Dave and I actually talked about a couple nights ago, so he already knows this one is coming. Not really much to dispute here. But let's talk about Madonna.
Do we have to?
Yes, despite the plastic surgery making her look nothing like what she looked like 30
The hideous,
years ago.
talentless hack that she has always been.
Well, at the other night, at the Kia Forum on the West Coast, of course, in California, where people act like they care, but they're really, really evil, nasty people. This fits right in.
Yep.
Madonna called out a fan in the front row of her concert recently at the Kia Forum as she did that insufferable crap that you and I hate.
Get up, stand up, get your hands up.
Yep. So, of course, she told all her fans to stand up, and she noticed somebody in the front row was not standing up, so she got upset and singled out this fan. Get up, why aren't you standing up? Why? Oh, she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you stupid bitch.
So, of course, she says, oh, I'm sorry, politically incorrect. I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, shut up, Madonna, you dumbass.
This is why I wish, and Ozzy Osbourne, we love Ozzy. Ozzy has been one of the worst at this. Motley Crue can be bad at it. Just don't command the audience. Just don't. Don't say stand up. Don't say clap your hands.
Get your hands up. Get your hands up.
I don't want to sing along. I don't want to clap.
If we want to do it, we'll do it. We don't want to be berated into it.
But yeah, Madonna, again, she gets away with this. If it'd been Donald Trump or somebody on the conservative side of the political spectrum, would have been vilified for this.
It would have been all over everything. This was just a little blip.
Yes. Oh, did you say little blip or little twit?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So let's move on. That's a good segue. Actually, a big twit. One of the people that we have a reserved seat for on the Sports Frenzy.
Do we have the right vowel in there?
The bitch of all time.
Yeah, we have the wrong vowel.
Joy Behar back as a contestant here on Red Foreman's Dumbasses.
You just have to say her name and she's an automatic fucking dumbass.
Well, of course, there was a Trump joke at the Oscars. So she wanted to email the host, congratulations on that awesome takedown of Donald Trump.
Okay.
So she emailed Jimmy Fallon. Wait a minute.
Wait. Wasn't it Jimmy Kimmel who was the host of the Oscars?
Oh, Dave, you'd be right. But who, let's gloss over details like that. Yes, Joy Behar, because she was so excited, probably rubbing her clit to ecstasy about a Donald Trump joke,
because she's a bitch from hell.
decides to email Jimmy Fallon
What a
congratulations
dumbass.
instead of Jimmy Kimmel.
All that freaking Botox in her face is finally impacting her brain even more so than it has before.
There are not many people on the face of the earth I hate more than her.
No, there's
Honestly,
very few. Very,
she's
very
got to be top
few.
5, bottom 5, however you want to look at it. She's got to be one of the worst. Pure evil. Pure fucking evil.
Yes. Always has been, always will be.
All right, South by Southwest. Arguably the most prestigious gathering of musicians each and every year down in Texas. Long festival, many, many bands playing all over the city. Believe it's in Austin.
I think so.
Well, we can't have fun with South by Southwest this year. Just can't go down, listen to music, and just enjoy ourselves. Because approximately 60 bands have dropped out of this year's South by Southwest. Why, Dave? Because
Why?
one of the corporate sponsors is the United States Army.
Oh, come on!
Even though the Army's presence, the military's presence in Texas is obviously very big. The South by Southwest group, committee, promoters that put everything together brought in the U.S. Army as a sponsor, big time corporate sponsor,
Yeah.
along with other big companies. The bands don't like it because you're adding to the strife and the stress and the violence in the world by doing this.
Yeah, we don't need these fucking snowflake bands.
You know who you sound like? Governor Abbott. Because Governor Abbott basically said, "Oh, you don't want to play here? See ya. Don't come back."
That is the biggest bunch of horse shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
Nope. And there are a couple military
Why do
contractors.
you think you're able to continue playing, you little piss ants?
Yeah, and of course the powers that be in the South by Southwest committee tried to walk the fine line and say, we disagree with the governor for being, so blatantly, negative about the free speech of these bands. They have the right to bow out if they want to. Meanwhile, these are the same idiots that brought in and agreed to the U.S. Army being one of the big corporate sponsors. I'm sorry, Greg Abbott is trying to do the best he can in that fucked up state. Between what's going on with the border and now you got to deal with this kind of garbage. We can't have the U.S. Army sponsoring South by Southwest. And again, like you said,
fucking ridiculous.
They are keeping us safe.
Why do you think you're allowed to do this?
They are doing more than you will ever, ever do with your guitars and your drums. Yes, we love music,
let's face it, out of those 60 bands, what's the likelihood of any of them ever doing anything?
And what's the likelihood that any of them ever spent any time in the military and know what
or
it's
have
like
any clue what
to
life
sacrifice
is?
what those people have to sacrifice? Sorry, that just I'm with you. It really, really upsets me.
That frosts my ass.
Yep. So finally, let's go for our last. I'm 3 for 3 so far, right?
Oh, yes.
I haven't been keeping track this week, I know. But we usually agree. You'll let me know when you don't agree. It happens. On occasion,
Once in a while.
But let's have some fun here to wrap up Red Foreman's Dumbasses or Not. Let's do some goofy math.
New math?
Oh, this goes beyond new math. Okay. It'll take a minute, but we got time.
Do I need a pencil and paper?
No.
Calculator?
Okay. Let's start off this way. Let's start off with the positive. We liked a lot liked the long version of Justice League.
Yes. The
Zack
Zack
Snyder's
Snyder cut.
the 4-hour
The
cut.
4-hour cut was
Right.
Yeah.
Now, he's had some issues with some other movies. Hasn't done the best, Sucker Punch but okay, so Zack Snyder has done some good things. Done some great things.
He's got some moments, yes.
Okay, but now what was his recent movie? Netflix had Rebel Moon, right? Part 1.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. No desire
Moon,
to see it.
Rebel Moon Part 2 will be coming out later on. Zack Snyder has decided to show everybody with his goofy math how his movie, Rebel Moon Part 1, is more popular than Barbie.
Oh, for the love of God.
So let's go through this, okay? I will explain his logic, his math. So, Zack Snyder says, well, Netflix has 80 million subscribers. You figure that if anybody's watching a show or a movie, on average, it's 2 people in the household. So that means 160 million people have watched Rebel Moon. If you take a $10 average ticket price and you multiply it by 160 million, you get 1.6 billion, which is more than what Barbie made. So Rebel Moon is more popular than Barbie. I told you it was goofy math, David. Didn't I?
And that's the dumbassery you get out of Hollywood.
Yep. Despite the fact we love the 4-hour Justice League he put together.
Yeah. Rebel Moon does not even look
I don't know
appealing.
anybody that's watched Rebel Moon. I don't know anybody that's watched it.
Nope.
No.
No. I don't know anyone who's watched it.
All right, kids. So take that as your final warning, your final lesson to take away from the weekend edition. Do not go to Zack Snyder for math lessons.
No, not at all.
So again, next week on the weekend edition, Black Crows, Slash with Brian Johnson. I will catch up on Tokyo Vice. I will do my best with The Gentleman.
I'll try and get caught up with Resident Alien.
And then, of course, we'll kind of watch whatever movies
time allows. I'm going to try and get a book. There's no promise. We'll see.
Oh, I thought next week we were doing Kellerman.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Jonathan Kellerman, the Ghost
Story Kid.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, movies. Dave and I, like this past week, we were able to be in sync, but there's just nothing new coming out that we can both watch.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Yeah. We always do.
Yep. Once
couple weeks I'm gonna have Ghostbusters, the new one.
Are you guys going to the plans. Theater? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Just don't spoil it for me. I am very nervous about this one because I don't know how it could be as good as the last one.
I know. We'll see.
Yep. And then of course later on this summer, Sports Frenzy movie night out, we will definitely be going to see The Fall Guy. What was the other one?
Furiosa.
Oh, that's right. Furiosa, A Tale from the Mad Max universe. We have decided we will go see those together. Basically, I will get dragged along with his family because I will be the third, the fifth, the seventh wheel, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, I think it's you and I will be going with the boys. Jen, I don't think will want to see
the Mad
those
Max.
two. The Mad Max.
Not thing. Even Fall Guy?
She might be hit and miss on that.
Oh, well, hell. All right. Guys' night out.
Yep.
×2. All right. I might have some big concert news next week. We've been talking a lot here about Collective Soul the last couple of weeks. We are going to look into, not confirmed yet.
We're investigating the opportunity.
Possibly might be going to see Collective Soul. But we will let you know one way or the other next week. I think that's going to do it.
Yep. I think so.
I am going to go up balance my checkbook using Zack Snyder's math. And, so I
See,
should be a millionaire
you should.
by the next hour or two. Yoo!
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you, Zack Snyder. Thank you for making me a multimillionaire with your goofy math.
If only it were legit.
He is the awesome, great man beyond belief, the conquistador Dave Height.
That is the legend, the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I am humbled. You should be humbled because you get to listen to us not once but twice every week.
That's right. You get to listen to us on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy 2.0, baby.
That is right. Radio Public going away in a couple weeks. Very sad about that, but you still got plenty of choices, as your Uncle Dave just told you.
Make the transition. Make it early.
Just don't let the alphabet mafia tell you have to go into transition.
That's
mode.
right.
That opens up a whole other can of worms.
And that's
penises.
beyond. No air dicking.
All right, everybody. We had fun tonight. We hope you did as well.
Yep, we'll talk to you next time, kids.
All right, take care.
Happy trails.